Hey everybody, how's it going? Dan Shinder here on Drum Talk TV with a repeat offender, Nigel Glockler from 6x6 in Saxon. I say repeat offender because we got together for almost 4.5 years ago. I remember where I was standing at the NAMM show in our booth at the 2020 NAMM show, and I just happened to look up, and this guy comes swaggering over with this look on his face like, okay, what the F word is going on here? And next thing he knew, he was on the show with our friend Craig Blundell making faces at him from the side, right?
Swaggering, that's a new one. I've never been called swaggering before. So.
Well, a lot's happened since then because I remember one of the things we talked about at the time is that Biff Bifford was recovering at the time. And I think it was a little unknown of how that would go, but I can tell everybody right now that by the sound of the new Saxon album, the recovery went really well. This is a great album. We'll get to that, but how are you doing?
Hey, great. Just enjoying a few days off really, because we've just got back from a UK and European tour with Judas Priest.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh, that was just great. You know, it was great fun. We've known them a long time, and I mean, they were all the gigs were arenas, so 14,000 people a night.
That's great.
Uriah Heep were the opening band on. We've known them a long time too, so it's just like great bunch of friends. You know, we know all the crews and everything. It was great, really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Scott's going to be on the show. Let's see if I have the date real quick. I don't, but he's not on my old man paper calendar, but I had him on a digital one. But yeah, Scott's coming in. Which we're excited about. I met him briefly years ago when we still lived in Vegas. We lived about a mile away from Vamped, a really cool club owned by Danny Coker and my wife and I.
We've played there in the past.
Yeah, you've been there. We live literally like a mile from there, which is great. But probably the best rock and roll club in all of Las Vegas. It's a great place to play and intimate place to see bands, and we used to do interviews there and stuff like that. But let's talk about this new album. So I took a deep dive. First of all, great artwork. You know what? I should just show everybody the digital version. Hold on. I've got some technology at my fingertips, folks. Let's just see if I know how to use it. There we go. Beautiful album cover. Talk about who did the art direction and who came up with the concept. Was it you guys? Was it the artist?
I think it was a bit of both, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it was a different artist, because normally we use a guy called Paul Gregory. Stuff, but no, this guy came about. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think it was sort of between us and the record company and everything. But I mean, it's a great cover. I love it. You know. Yeah,
it is. It's a gatefold. So you've got the inside image there, and then you've got here. I'll undo that so people can see another great image. And then I don't know why there's a picture of the roadies on the back.
Yeah, I don't know who that lot is. Bunch of ugly mugs.
Yeah, everyone's looking good, and the album sounds great. Interesting thing to me in listening to the album is I discovered you guys back in 79 or 83, somewhere in there. And I remember that Biff was on the cover of the first copy of Kerrang that I bought. And so I read the article and all that, went out, bought the record. And now fast forward 50 years, whatever it's been. How long has it been actually?
I think it's about 43 years, I think, something like that. Because we were going to do our 40th anniversary thing, but the COVID thing hit. Yeah. You know, so that kind of screwed that up. So we did like a 42nd anniversary thing, you know. But
still a nice even number.
It's been a while. Can you remember which album it was you first got?
I think it was the first album, and then I just kind of took in chronological order, which I rarely do. I usually buy a live album first, and then work backwards. Yeah, because I want to hear the band in the most unproduced form, if you will. You know what I mean? Without the overdubs and stuff. Which is kind of I've always done that since I was a kid. But listening to the new album, when I say what I'm going to say, folks, I don't mean that it sounds dated, but it sounds like good old Saxon. You know what I mean? It has a throwback element to it, but without sounding dated. And the production is just outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds live. It has live, big, fat sound. Talk to us about the writing process and also the recording process.
Well, I mean, everyone in the band writes. You know, it's so people sort of put in snippets or complete ideas or whatever, and it's whatever, you know, moves Biff, you know, because he writes all the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, so it's whatever sort of inspires him, or he might have a title idea, or I mean, everyone comes up with title ideas as well. So it's a whole round thing, but he might have a title in mind, listen to a certain demo and go, oh yeah, that'll fit with that. And then it's worked on, you know, I mean, that's basically how it's done.
That's great. Do you guys rehearse the heck out of it before you go into the studio and knock it out? Or is there some latitude in the studio for stuff to develop and morph?
Oh, there's a little bit. I mean, we do rehearse. We go in, we might sort of, you know, we have the demos and we go in and do a bit of playing around with them and seeing maybe that bit needs shortening, or maybe let's change that bit. So we do that. But then demos are done again. Right. Because I mean, when I record in the studio, I always want to play to a click track. Always. I mean,
that's great.
I think that comes from my time pre-Saxon when I was with Toyah. You know, and because then, you know, I had to play dead on. You know, in those days, there were a lot of sequences.
Yeah.
Synthesizer sequence, and the drums have to play on with them. I mean, there's nothing I find more annoying than hearing something like that from back in the day and the drums are out.
Yeah.
You know, it's really like, you know, and so I had to learn to do that. So now it's what we tend to do is each track we'll rehearse it and we'll try a click and to see which is the best groove.
Oh, cool.
And so we might go, oh, that's a little bit fast. Let's pull it back a little bit and do that. And then that is the tempo. Sometimes it might change again just before we're going to record, but that's generally what happens.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, the whole recording process, I actually like to go in on my own and do the drums on my own.
That's awesome. Steve is chiming in. My son, who's our producer, Steve Shinder, he says, and Steve's a huge prog head.
Oh, okay.
He says, I don't listen to metal very often, but Hellfire and Damnation feels very energetic and consistent throughout. No track feels out of place, and you even got Brian Blessed on it. Yeah, that is cool, by the way. Yeah. I was like, whoa, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, he introduced us at a festival, so that was really cool. At one festival, sort of
that's
a year
great.
Or so ago, he came on stage and introduced us.
That's cool. Yeah, so his work that he did.
So I mean, that's how I like to record. I mean, from a point of view, I used to find back in the 80s. So I'm not saying, you know, obviously some people like to record all together.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I mean, from my point of view, I found that, you know, my best takes are usually 1 to 4 on any song, maybe 5, 1 to 5 are the best takes. And I used to find when we were all playing together, you know, sometimes I'm lucky enough to get the first take might be the one because it's fresh. You're in the studio, bang, let's do it.
Right. But maybe someone else doesn't.
Yeah. And I nearly get to the end and someone screws up. and you can't keep going because I'm playing to a click, maybe.
Right.
And I could keep going, but the others wouldn't quite know where I am, if you know what I mean. So it stops. And then the second take, maybe I hit something, you know, click a rim or something. So it stops again. This way around, I go in with the demo or, you know, with one of the guitarists and the bass player, maybe do the track, and then they can go away, go to the pub or whatever, and I'll do the track. And cool. I'm left on my own because the point is I found the more times you take it, you start, well, for me anyway, I start thinking I've got to get this track done because they're getting bored and I've got to get this done. So we can't move on until the drums on this track are done.
Right.
So then you start playing it safe.
That's cool.
You don't go for it. You just think, well, I'll just lay back and just play it easy and get the track done, bang. Whereas if I'm on my own, it's only me I have to answer to.
That's cool. I want to show a quick video of you sound checking, and then I have a question about gear. Yeah,
Okay.
check this out, folks. This is fun. So my question, Nigel, is that's a beautiful kit. Looks like so much fun. I call my big kit my playpen, and that's what that looks like, a playpen. Do you use similar or the same gear when you record as you play when you tour with Saxon?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I might, we might cut down, for instance, there's an 18-inch gong drum there. I might cut that out. Yeah. Necessarily, from a miking point of view, but generally, yeah, I set the whole thing up.
Great. Run through real quick for everybody. Give a shout out to your brands that you do play the heads, the drums.
Well, the drums are a British drum company, and they're all birch. The sizes are there's two 8-inch. I had two 8-inch because people keep saying, why didn't you have a 6-inch then an 8-inch? But a 6, if you're playing quite fast, is a bit of a small target to aim at. Yeah. Yeah. And so I had two 8s, and very kindly, British Drum Company, Keith, the main sort of designer there, he put an extra ply on the first 8-inch to make the tone automatically higher.
Oh, nice.
So that's the difference with them. So there's two 8s, 10, then in front of me is a 12, 13, and then the floor toms are 15, 16, and then the sort of hanging floor, the gong, well, it is an 18, and the kick drums are 24.
Cool. What heads are you using?
I use Remo. Always been with Remo for years. I use Remo Ambassador clears on the undersides, and then Remo Ambassador coated on the top sides. Great. And then the snare drum is it's this wood called Purple Heart. Yeah. And Keith, again at British Drum Company, said, what do you normally use? And I said, well, I normally use a brass snare. And he said, well, try this. It's like it will give you the attack of brass, but the warmth of wood. And I love it.
That's great. Yeah. So, how about your cymbals?
Cymbals, right. Yeah, I've been with Peisty for 40-odd years now, actually. Wow. Yeah. So, no, they're great. I love them. They're great company. And, that's awesome. They do a great service. If I crack a cymbal somewhere, and for instance, I've run out of spares, right? So they'll get a cymbal to me somehow, and that's what you need if you're on the road a lot. You need the support, yeah. Yeah, they're great support, and and then I use dualist pedals. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But they're the single pedals. They're not the sort of heel and toe sort of double beta pedals. They're single ones, and I've been using them for a long time. I mean, prior to the British Drum Company, I was with Dualist. They built me a couple of drum kits as well, so I had them for a while. Cool. But so there we go. In fact, I'm really excited because I've got that's my European kit, and I've got an American kit being en route as we talk. So. Oh, great. Awesome. And let's switch gears a little bit. You got a whole other world going on with two other partners in crime. You've got Ian Crichton and Robert Berry with 6x6. Let's talk about that project a bit. What's going on there? Well, the whole thing came to pass because I was in GTR and Robert was in GTR with me. Right. So that's how we met. So we kept in touch. And, he came to some gigs of ours on the West Coast a few years ago, and we kept in touch anyway. And then suddenly I got an email from him saying, I've formed this band with Ian Crichton and we've decided you're the guy. And I was like, what? And it was great because I love Ian's playing. In fact, he's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite ever guitarist. Oh, that's cool. And to suddenly have this guy, I felt very honored to suddenly have this guy asking me to be in a band with him. I was like, well, plus, Robert and I are really good friends anyway. So that was like an extra thing. Yeah. So they'd written all the tracks for the first album. So I flew out to San Jose and to Robert's studio and laid the drums down. Bang, for the first album. And it was done again. It was done. Robert was engineering it and everything, and he'd actually put the basic drums down because he's a pretty good drummer on his own.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So he gave me like a template, but then both him and Ian, we had Ian on Zoom. He wasn't even there. We had Ian on Zoom saying, can we try this now? Yeah, go on, just go for it. Just do what you do. So and that's the result. And now we've got the second album out this week.
Yeah, I heard a few of the songs, and it's a great, for those who haven't heard any of it. It's like progressive metal trio, and it's very modern sounding, but the production again is just so pristine. It really sounds good. I can't wait to hear it.
Robert did that. So
really good job on that.
He's really into it. And this time Ian was there this time, so we had a lot of fun.
That's cool. I want to just go back to a Saxon note real quick. Put a comment up here from Ricardo. He's saying, Saxon, come to Mexico City, please. Will we see that?
Yeah, Ricardo, we were due to be there just before Christmas, but because we did a South American tour November, December, up to the beginning of December. And Mexico City was meant to be the last gig. It was going to be a festival. And at the last minute, I think the organizers changed the venue. And then it was discovered that they didn't have any licenses to do it. So the whole thing got going.
Oh, wow.
We were ready to do it. So, sorry, Ricardo, hopefully we can get back there soon. I mean, we are, there's already talk about us going to South America again, not too far in the distance. So fingers crossed.
Cool. And you mentioned 3 Magic Letters GTR, and Steven's chiming in on that. He says, what was it like working with Steve Howe in that potential GTR lineup, as well as on his solo album Turbulence, and later on Asia's 1992 album Aqua? Yeah.
I mean, the GTR thing was like, because the bass player in GTR was Phil Spaulding, who sadly passed away a couple of years ago. Or a year ago. And but he was the bass player with me in Toyah, so I think he recommended me for the GTR thing. And I must admit, I sort of went into the rehearsal room and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Steve Howe! Oh my God!" Because I'm a big Yes fan.
Awesome, great.
Scared SH1T less, if you know what I mean. And
no pressure, right?
No pressure at all. It was like, God. No, he was great. I mean,
just a guitar player guy.
I keep in touch with Steve a lot now, so keep in touch. And there was a lot of politics going on, so that unfortunately that album got shelved. The whole thing just fell apart, unfortunately, which is a big shame. But then Steve first of all asked me to do. There was an album came out on what was the label? It was Miles Copeland's label, Stuart Copeland's brother, I think, or something. And it was called Guitar Speak, and Steve got asked to do a track on it. Loads of guitar. Ronnie Montrose did a track. Leslie West did a track. It was like Steve was doing a track. So Steve asked me if I'd go in and do a track with him. So I did that. And then later on, we went into to do a couple of tracks on Turbulence. And but sort of kind of backtracking, it was through that because Jeff Downs was producing the GTR album. So then he asked me if I wanted to go and play on some Asia stuff. So that's how that worked out.
Cool. It's a small world.
It
really,
is. It is a small world.
Yeah. My son Steve and I just reviewed on our other podcast called Yes Shift. It's all about the Yes universe. We just reviewed Steve Howe's biography, All My Yesterdays, and it is so good. It's really good. Yeah.
Just a little thing I must say. Steve's got this track. He keeps threatening to put it out because he says it's great. When we were doing the GTR album, there's a jam of me, Steve, and Phil. So just guitar, bass, and drums. And apparently, I haven't heard it, and apparently it's absolutely blinding. So Steve, I think. Steve,
wow! I really hope.
I think, just on a compilation somewhere. I mean, I can't wait to hear it myself because I can't remember it.
Really? How funny! Who knows how many other buried bones there are? Like in your career of Saxon, are there things that did didn't make it onto an album, or that were performed live that didn't make it onto a live album that we may see someday in some sort of anthology or something?
No, I mean, generally, I mean, the first thing that happened when I first, joined Saxon, I mean, it was like I was only meant to be there for a week, basically helping out. Anyway, the end result is I joined, but then they suddenly
for that one,
and then they suddenly said, "Oh, by the way, we're recording a live album in 2 weeks," and I went, "What?" So we did that, but I mean, what happened was that the band initially wanted the Eagle Has Landed, the first live album, to be a double. So there are a bunch of, God knows where they are now. So there's a bunch of live things of other stuff that didn't get on the first album, basically because of space. So there's that lying around somewhere, if it's still lying around. We also recorded a show on the, what show? It would have been on Rock the Nations tour at Hammersmith. That was recorded as well, I think, but that never came out either.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of stuff like sort of lying around, and there's probably a few demos and things. I've got a few cassettes of demos and stuff, but they won't see the light of day. No way. I'm not going to have it, but I've got, there's some stuff floating around. But
that's cool.
Who knows? I mean, sometimes we may come back and listen to something and go, oh yeah, what did we do with that? Let's work on it. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Any filmed items that haven't come out yet?
Yeah. Well, the one at Hammersmith was filmed.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be great.
But it was on a record company we're no longer with. So they own the rights to that. So I think it's probably been binned, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are the future plans for 6x6? You got 2 albums by the time this new one comes out. Yeah. Are you guys going to tour?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is what we keep sort of reiterating. This isn't like a recording project. We want to tour.
Great.
I mean, I think someone's already announced that we're playing at ProgStock.
Yeah.
So we've got that coming up. So that's like one gig. We're like, oh my God, we've got to rehearse now live.
Yeah. Now you got to learn your own material, right?
No. Horror. But we're looking at some other stuff. I mean, there's talk about doing, say a week's worth or something of European shows. So we'll see, But we definitely want to get out there. Definitely.
That's cool. And the new album comes out.
People will just have to be patient with us.
Yeah. ProgStock's in October, folks. In case you don't know, it's in New Jersey, here in the States. The new 6x6 album comes out on the 26th. Is it possible you could do a tour opening for Saxon? I can give you a connection.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to do double duty, do you?
Steve Howe did with Asia and Yes. That was actually pretty neat to see.
Yeah, that's true.
A little different for a drummer, though.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
I remember seeing that show, and it was during the Yes set where Steve Howe's glasses fell off.
Uh-oh.
And he froze and stayed in place because he was afraid he'd step on them. And his tech came out, got his glasses, put them back on, and then Steve was as animated as ever again.
Yeah. I've had the same thing back in the sort of 80s. We used to wear those sort of aviator sunglasses, but the point was they had lenses in them, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that was the thing. I thought, well, they look better than just wearing a normal pair of glasses. That's why I wore them. And I just remember this one gig, and I got a drumstick flicked over. Oh. And they just flew over there, and they were on the stage, and I could see them, and I was willing people, don't go that way, too late, crunch,
Like using the power of the force to keep everyone away.
So now I wear contact lenses when I play.
My wife wears contact lenses. She's suggested over the years. I just can't bring myself to stick something in my eye. It's just, I'm queasy about that. I don't know.
I know what you mean. It's like the other guys, when I'm sort of there, like putting them in, they're going, oh, God. Yeah. That's easy.
That's funny. And Steve comments, he says, Beyond Shadowland is a cool name for the album. How'd that name come about?
That was Rob, who does all our graphics.
Oh.
He came up with that. He does the album covers.
Nice.
So he came up with that name, and there's a little story that he sort of made up about it. No, it's great. It's brilliant. I love it. He put that sort of image of that biplane on it instantly. I knew, yeah, that's an Antonov. It's an old Russian biplane.
Oh, nice.
That I've seen people parachute out of. Parachuters come out of. So
yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. I've got it right here for people to see. As soon as I hit the right button, there we go. There it is. Yeah, that is cool.
And if you look, we're sort of in the right hand side, coming around those mountain things.
Yeah. And where'd the name 6x6 come from?
What the title?
Yeah.
Oh God, that is. We were trying to think of names for the band, and literally everything we thought of, we sort of Wikipedia'd. Oh, there's someone called that, or there's someone called that, or that's been used, or that's been used. I mean, honestly, you could have used something like crazy, like armored sausage, and someone had it.
Someone would have it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like, oh God. So apparently, this is it's something to do with the length of DNA.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and also, there's 3 of us, and we got 6 of these, and with 6 and whatever,
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
How it came about, but it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So
that's funny. I have a weird hobby in my phone. I have a notepad in my phone that probably has up to maybe around 70 made up band names.
Oh, right.
And out of all of them, I only know of one that happens to be someone else already took it, and it's called Drunk Uncle. Like figures. Yeah, that's legit. No wonder someone's using it, right?
Yeah. No,
some are not family friendly though.
No, yeah, sure. There was I saw this poster somewhere. What was it? And someone made up all these names. It was like for this sort of 3-day festival, and there was one called Sausage Warfare, and like there were all these names. No, they were brilliant.
That's hilarious. So how are you going to balance and schedule touring with Saxon and touring with 6x6? I'm guessing Saxon's probably going to play a lot of the European summer festivals like Wacken and things like that.
Yeah, we're not playing Wacken this year, but Saxon. We obviously. Ian's got Saga as well. Remember?
Yeah.
So we'll just we've each got our sort of main bands, which are the sort of our priorities, so to speak. But no, we'll work it round, and then it just means that I'll be on the road a lot. Maybe, I don't know. We'll just see. But no, we'll work it, because there's no sort of animosity within Saxon with me doing this. Everyone's like, yeah, great, go for it. So we'll work it out.
That's cool. You've been on the road for so long. I'm guessing even if it's morphed over time, you probably have some sort of routine. How do you spend your time when you're not on the bus and not sound checking or performing?
Eating. No.
That's a good one.
Or drinking. No. It's generally we tour we use a tour bus. I actually prefer using a tour bus as opposed to staying in hotels.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get down, the adrenaline comes down after a gig. You might not go to sleep till 2:30, something like that, 3:00 even, depending how late the gig is.
And then you got to bug out early in the morning anyway.
And you'd have to do that in a hotel. Exactly. You'd have to check out 8 or 9 o'clock to travel to the next gig. This way, I can go to bed, wake up, and I'm there.
Yeah, that's cool.
All I've got to do is get out the bunk, have a shower, have some food, and I'm good to go.
That's good. Yeah.
So we like to have a few sort of bus parties on. There's probably a few videos on the Saxon site of us.
I'd love to see that. Yeah.
I think they're on there, a bit worse for wear.
But
singing, like there's a classic one of me trying to sing bloody what's that bloody focus track with the yodeling in.
It's probably good that I'm going to fix this hearing aid. Geez. Now that I'm guessing you're over 50 now, it's probably also good that you're just more well rested for gigs and
exactly.
travel.
Yeah. You you have to sort of, I think the thing is, yeah, but I mean, you see it in youngsters as well. You know, they burn the candles at both ends and they burn themselves out. You just can't do it. I mean, particularly, you know, for singers and drummers, they've got to get rest.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know how the tech crews do it. I mean, they're there during the day setting up, they're minding things during the show, then they tear down. Like, that's just crazy.
I mean, generally with us, generally our crew will travel with us.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, which is great because it's really good for camaraderie and everything. And, you know, we love our guys and it's great. And we all get on great. There's no, you know, and the time I felt sorry for them was on the, not the last South American tour, the tour before, because basically it was do a gig, hotel, get up, be in the reception at 6 o'clock a.m., fly to the next country, get there, a couple of hours rest, but the crew had to go straight down to the venue to see what gear was there because there was different gear every night.
Yeah.
You know,
I've noticed in the last, well, quite a long time, when I go see, most of the time when I go see bands that are, for lack of better words, more senior players, it seems like the crew is around that same age group as well. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen crew members under 50 or 60 years old, I think.
Oh, we have to see our crew then.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
We've got a young lighting guy, Sam. He's brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
No, all our techs are younger.
So it's a little easier for them to keep up with that crazy schedule that they have.
Yeah. In fact, they usually bloody well stay up. We go to bed on the bus. They're still up partying, you know.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally you have to say, shut up, turn that music down, you know.
The old man upstairs has spoken. Yeah. That's not music. Turn that down. And they've got Saga playing or something, right?
That's not that. I mean, it's not that. You know, it's not that bad. But I'm saying, you know, they generally, you know, they're younger, so they like to let the steam off, you know. But they're great. They work really hard, and they're great. And you know, I sort of look at them as friends. You know, they're friends. They're buddies. You know, we're all there doing the same thing. And quite frankly, without them, we couldn't do it.
That's great.
You know,
that's great. Is there going to be a West Coast side of the tour coming? Will we possibly be able to see?
I hope so. Yeah. You know, let's see what happens. I mean, maybe later in the year or something. It's all down to promoters and time and what have you. You know, so I'm sure it'll be planned.
Great.
So, I know it's very frustrating for people there at the moment because everyone's going, "Oh, come over, do this. Bring heat with you, and everything." And hey, you know, we'll see what we can sort out.
That's great. What else do you have going that you'd like to talk about or promote? Do you have time for anything else going?
Not really. Oh, one thing I did forget. Bit of promotion here. I didn't mention I use Winston's drumsticks. There you go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I use Winston's Swedish company. They're great. I've been with them for quite a few years now too. So
wood tip or nylon? I couldn't tell from the video.
Wood. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I used to have trouble with nylon tips. I used to crack them on the edges of cymbals and stuff. And, you know, so
cool.
But no, they're really cool. Brilliant.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else really. No, it's just as I say at the moment, I'm just sort of enjoying these few days because I'm flying down to Miami on Saturday.
Okay.
And you know, I'm meeting our crew boss at DFW. And then we're flying down to Miami, and then we're spending a day playing around with the new drum kit and everything. And then the other guys are arriving in Miami that evening. So the day after, we'll have a run through and check all the gear and everything.
Great.
And then off we go again.
That's cool. Here's someone chiming in on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
From the UK. Hi, Nigel. Hellfire and Damnation, a brilliant album. Simon from England. Best wishes for the US tour.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you saw us with Priest, but, you know, it was a great tour.
That's cool. Well, this leads us to the Nigel Glockler fun fact segment. So here's my question for you. Yeah, don't worry, it's family friendly. When we do the thing in the membership site, maybe not so much. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But what do you like to do? How do you like to spend your time when you're the slivers of time completely away from music? You're not recording, you're not writing, you're not rehearsing, you're not touring. What do you like to do outside of music?
I don't know. Well, being here in Dallas, when I get the time, I love to sunbathe.
That's a good one.
I love to swim, walk the dog, and then whatever chores the wife has for me.
Well, there you go.
I think that's a musician's thing. The big thing is though, is that she's quite sort of tidy about everything, and I come home and mess everything up, and she says, "Oh, for God's sake, go on tour again! For God's sake."
That's funny.
I just like doing the normal things. I like, meeting friends down the pub.
Yeah.
Drink a load of beer and watch sci-fi or war movies or stuff. Just the usual stuff.
Cool.
I'm getting into sort of American football now stuff.
Oh, cool.
So just the usual.
Yeah, you live in a big football town.
Yeah, I know. Well, my father-in-law is a big Dallas Cowboys fan, so I have to watch myself when the football's on.
Cool. You mentioned eating earlier. Are you a big foodie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sort of like what you call a connoisseur of stuff. I just like what I like. I really look forward to going back to England because I love Indian food. I love it, and usually when I stay over there, I stay in my hometown in an Airbnb or something, and usually it's about a 5-minute walk to my favorite Indian restaurant.
Oh, nice.
So, it's very tempting to go in there nearly every night when we're not doing festivals. But I love Indian food. I love Italian food, and but I'm not a big foodie. Oh, we've got to try this, this swank restaurant. I'm not into all that.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy in an Olive Garden, to be quite honest with you. When we're on tour, if we got a day off, I'll scout on the old Google Maps. Oh, there's an Olive Garden there. I'm going there. Bang.
That's cool. Is there a destination on the tour schedule that you look forward to because of the food that's there?
No, not particularly.
No,
not really. No.
Okay.
No. I mean, mainly sort of country-wise. Yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to Italy. Great. We're going to Germany. Nice. I love German food. So from that point of view, yeah, I get it, but not a particular town sort of thing. No, unless we've had because everyone in the band's into Indian food. So unless we sort of think, someone's made oh, great, we're going there. Oh, yeah, there's that restaurant. Right, we're going.
That's cool. Yeah. Nice. I want to give a couple other shout outs to comments. Here is Dave White. Hi, Nige. Dave from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Was an amazing gig in Glasgow. Good luck in the US with the new kit. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Glad you enjoyed it.
Then we got Andrew Miles.
Andrew Miles, yeah.
You know Andrew?
Yeah. I know Dave White as well.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, Andrew Miles. Yeah, that's what my drum kit's called, HMS Glockler.
Oh, he said, here, someone's telling on you. Ready?
Yeah, that's it.
Good one, Andrew. That's funny. So very cool. I so appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, especially right before leaving town to come on. I'm sure your wife was like, yeah, please go in the other room, do that interview.
She's at work. She's at work now, so I can do what I want today.
Very cool. So folks, I talked to Nigel before we came on live, and he agreed to do an artist Q&A session in our membership site. And Steven's going to put the site link in the comments as well as on each channel, and he'll edit the description, put it in there. We'll send him the schedule. He'll pick it out. And if you sign up for the newsletter or simply become a member, you'll find out when Nigel's going to do that. I appreciate that as well. That'll be fun. That's where the fans get to ask the questions. I'm not doing an interview. I'm just pressing buttons, and you fans get to
that could be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a blast. So
yeah, cool.
Thanks everybody so much for what you do, following us everywhere that you follow us, even if it's not everywhere where we go. Does that make sense? We're on YouTube, Instagram, Vimeo, Facebook, and X, or whatever that guy calls it now. I can't keep track, but we appreciate you following what we do. Check out drumtalktvbrilliance.com, and a lot more stuff to come. Nigel, hang on the line with me. And thanks again for your time. Really appreciate it. This is fun getting caught up after 4.5 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been too long. I have to do it again soon, sort of when there's something else to catch up on everything. No, but thank you so much for having me on anyway. Great,
Absolutely. Anytime. Appreciate it. Thanks, folks. We'll see you soon.